From the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., this is Rewind. This week, in the wake of the attack in Benghazi where 4 U.S. officials were killed, a former U.S. ambassador who survived an al-Qaeda attack in Kenya urged a review of the State Department's security procedures.
Embassy security is a national security issue when it points to weaknesses and opportunities that affects Americans' foreign policy, and that is what is happening today. And I would like to say to Secretary Kerry, and if any of you know him, please say it, go for it, fix it. It's yours. The time is ripe, and people will thank you.
At a newsmaker, we heard that implementation of the Affordable Care Act has not followed party lines. One red state supported it.
North Dakota will become one of those states that originally opposed it, but now has moved to a position of supporting Medicaid expansion in the state.
But New York has had some difficulties.
New York, if anyone doesn't know, is sometimes referred to as a blue state, although we were not able to, in our legislature, because one house, the Senate, is controlled by Republicans, to legislatively pass for an exchange. So it took an executive order from our governor, Governor Cuomo, to set up the exchange.
The European Union ambassador said that the United States must seize the opportunity to create growth and jobs through a trade agreement with the EU.
There's a potential to be a win-win operation for both of us, because it will open up the markets, increase market access for American companies in Europe and vice versa, bring the standards closer together so that companies don't have to adapt to different regulation. And if we do all this, investment will come and jobs will be created.
Having traveled on a recent congressional delegation to Cuba, one congressman advocated taking Cuba off the terrorist list.
Most of the hemisphere disagrees with our approach to Cuba. Every country from the right to the left has normal diplomatic relations with Cuba, except the United States. Even U.S. officials admit that Cuba does not engage or support terrorism.
Results from a Quinnipiac University poll predicted that Hillary Clinton would defeat 3 potential Republican candidates if the next presidential election were held today.
Ms. Clinton's been in the public eye now for more than 2 decades. She's been First Lady, she's been Secretary of State, she's been a U.S. Senator. And so perhaps her standing is not surprising, but it's very strong.
At a book event with his famous parents by his side, the son of Bill Moyers read an excerpt from a letter he had received about addiction.
I am begging you, if there is any way my son can be helped, please help me to find it. Please help Scott to save himself. Mr. Moyers, you are my last hope. And so I wrote this book, again, in part, to help people find hope.
From the National Press Club, where news happens, this is Rewind. I'm Jared Rizzi.